What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, I've been real busy. There's a lot of new things you'll see on the channel as I get finished with them and whatnot. Just working my ass off. So I've been meaning to do this video, and I'm just now getting to it. Let me start off by saying this. This is a video regarding Carl Froch and George Groves 2, a fight I'm eagerly anticipating. Now, shout out to all my UK fans, people from the UK, from England. I know some of you guys wanted to hear my thoughts on this particular fight, but some of y'all are tripping. Some of y'all are acting like it's the end of the world and I'm avoiding talking about this fight. This is a fight that I definitely want to see, and I'll kind of go in and explain in this video why I want to see it and that kind of thing. But hold your fucking horses. It's my channel, and I release the content as I see fit. So for one reason or another, sometimes things don't get talked about. I'm one person, can't talk about everything. And I had a lot of guys from the UK saying, I don't want to talk about the real fights and all kinds of shit going crazy. Some of y'all were turning to Jason Statham from fucking The Transporter and Parker in these fucking comments, just playing that tough guy.
Striker, hoi, ego, it's me, Jason Statham from Parker. It's me, Turkish. I've been following your channel. Next time, I'll deflate all of your balls.
So anyway, I just had to put that out there. Again, it's my channel. If you guys want to talk about whatever fight, you guys have obviously a YouTube channel because you're leaving comments on my shit. Talk about whatever the fuck you want to talk about it when you want to. As far as my channel, I try to get to all of the fights, especially the meaningful big fights, and it takes time. So just sit back and chill the fuck out. Regarding Carl Froch and George Groves, this is really a fight that I want to see. And I mean, for so many reasons, it's meaningful. I really like George Groves. I think he has a ton of heart. I think the bullshit stoppage in the first fight has added to George Groves' I guess motivation. And then Carl Froch should also be motivated to make this fight because there's a lot of eyebrows that were raised and a lot of questions. He's known for having a granite chin, yet in the first round he was knocked down, and maybe he took George Groves lightly, so maybe he'll blow him out of the water in the second fight. But still, seeing is believing. And I think George Groves, up until the later rounds, fought a very smart, good fight where he was outboxing the shit out of Carl Froch. He seemed like he made Carl Froch uncomfortable and put him in the position of I guess where he was hurting Carl Froch, whereas Carl Froch couldn't really find his range, just looked like he was off on that night. And then maybe got a little too overconfident in the later rounds, and then he started getting reckless, and then he got caught by Carl Froch. Carl Froch being the bigger name, it seems like the ref didn't give George Groves much opportunity to fight back, and he had him in a headlock. Carl Froch was trying to just put the finishing touches on it and get the stoppage, and the ref awarded him the stoppage. To me, that was bullshit. I've seen plenty of fights where guys needed to be stopped. Even the Angulo fight, to me, he didn't do nothing. He didn't do nothing all fight. Angulo was looking slow as fuck, and I like Angulo, but against Canelo, he didn't bring it, and he let Canelo pounce on him and really beat the brakes off him, rip to the body, jar his head up, uppercut him, and he got caught with the long range uppercut that he should have seen coming, the fucking uppercut from Street Fighter 2, Hadouken, and Tony Weeks stopped it. Now, some people are crying that, oh, it was premature. That's a what if. That's a what if Angulo endured all that punishment and was able to muster up enough energy to perhaps stop Canelo, who may have been fatiguing. So that whole standpoint is really a what if. Angulo didn't show us these things. They didn't look like he was coming on strong or he was getting any better. Like, you know what I mean? He was still getting pieced up and still getting tagged with shots and tattooed. Carl Froch versus George Groves, totally different. Carl Froch was being dominated and outboxed by George Groves for a majority of the fight. And George Groves should have been ahead on the scorecards unless, I don't know, you were Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles were scoring it. George Groves should have been up. And he had the knockdown. So for him to not get an opportunity to fight his way back into the fight, it's a little bit different. Or even if it was a situation which is closer to Froch Groves, let's say Brandon Rios versus Mike Alvarado. Brandon Rios was trying to do what Carl Froch was doing and close the show, and he landed several unanswered punches to Mike Alvarado. Mike Alvarado just looked like he was spooked, like he just woke up or some shit. Like he didn't know where he was at. And he had got hit with several unanswered punches. In the George Groves fight, that's not the case. If you rewatch it and rewatch the stoppage, and at the point it was stopped, George Groves was like had his back turned and the ref pretty much had him in a headlock and waved it off like, oh no, that's enough. Versus Alvarado was against the ropes getting pummeled by Brandon Rios after he was hurt. Totally different outcomes, totally different scenarios. That's why Brandon Rios, I had no problem with his stoppage either, even though Mike Alvarado complained. He was getting rocked and he wasn't punching back. That's what the fuck's gonna happen. Even recently, Juanma Lopez versus Daniel Ponce de Leon. You get backed up against the ropes and we know you're hurt because you just got knocked down or rocked and wobbled and it's very apparent to the audience, and you let someone put you up against the ropes, then stoppages happen and it's your fault for not showing or showing early enough that you're still in it, that there's still some dog left in you, there's some fight left in you. And being against the ropes, that looks worse. That looks 10 times worse than being in the middle of the ring in the headlock. Plus, you got to analyze the fight in its entirety, and George Groves was dominating in that fight and had several rounds in the can. So, bigger picture, they're going to rematch, and this is a set the record straight fight. Don't get it twisted. Carl Froch is a hell of a warrior. I'm a huge Carl Froch fan, but I think Carl Froch has been, based on his name, on the right side of a lot of wrong decisions, if you will. I think the Darrell fight, I don't think Carl Froch should have won that. But being that Darrell was in the UK, Carl Froch got the nod. Carl Froch also against George Groves, who wasn't as big of a star, even though he gained a lot of fanfare in that particular fight based on his performance. Pre-fight, people were cheering for Carl Froch as he came out. After the fight, they were booing him. So that shows you a lot. In England, they were booing Carl Froch based on the outcome and the premature ref stoppage, and they were cheering for George Groves. So again, it's a meaningful fight. It's a fight that needs to happen. It's a fight that I'm glad it's happening. It's a fight that I can't really see how it's going to be boring. Like if you watch certain rematches like Juan Manuel Marquez versus Juan Diaz, you watch that rematch or something, and the second one doesn't live up to the first one. This has the potential to live up to the first one. And I'm anxious to see how Carl Froch is going to look in this rematch. Is he going to look like he did against Kessler in his rematch with Mikhail Kessler, which he kind of set the record straight, came out with a good game plan, and Kessler never really got into a great rhythm, and Carl Froch looked really good? Or is it going to be more of the same? Or are they going to try to rob George Groves if it looks exactly the same to keep Froch winning, to possibly make a fight with Chavez Jr., maybe Triple G winner if they do end up fighting? So a lot on the line with this fight. May 31st is taking place at Wembley Stadium. It doesn't really get much bigger than that. I think they sold like 60,000 tickets in an hour, something fucking ridiculous. Proves to you boxing is not dead by a long shot. It also proves the UK has some of the best fucking fans in the sport of boxing. Whether you like them, whether you like their fighters, whether you've never been. I personally have had the privilege of living in England. So shout out to all the UK subscribers. I don't know if some of you guys knew that, but yeah, my dad was in the military, so I lived on Lakenheath Air Force Base. So shout out to Cambridge, Suffolk, all you guys out there. London, I've been to London. I've seen Big Ben. I've seen the double-decker bus, and you know what I mean? It's a beautiful place, and it's actually a lot. I like England. There's a lot of differences when you come to America versus England. Like when I came for school, I was like virtually a genius because the kids in a higher grade were just learning stuff that I had learned way long time ago, because the school systems, in my opinion, at least at the time, in England were far advanced, and they, you know what I mean, they were teaching us home ec and a lot of stuff with just literature. We went to plays and stuff. It was crazy. So shout out to the whole UK, everybody, Bolton, everybody. And I'm looking forward to a great fight. Really a great fucking fight. The animosity's there, the bad blood is there, the tension is there, and the fans are there. A lot of people who are anxiously awaiting this. And it's bigger and better things for the winner. Carl Froch will extend his career if he wins, and possibly get the winner of Chavez Jr. or Triple G, or maybe just get them, possibly get his rematch with Andre Ward that he's been craving and wanting to set the record straight. And same thing with George Groves. The sky's the limit if he beats Carl Froch the second time. He could possibly get an Andre Ward fight, or anybody else that I mentioned. So shout out to whoever wins that fight. And I'll definitely be tuned in. So great couple months of boxing starting now. Let me know what you guys think. Carl Froch, George Groves, Part 2. Do you want to see it? Do you think the first one was a premature stoppage or nah? Let me know what you guys think. As always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Till next video's Ego, signing off.